What if one morning the real world turned into a GTA-style city and the only normal person left was a skeleton trying to live a regular office life? At first, everything looked normal. The sun was rising, the streets were quiet, and the city was slowly waking up. But then, something changed. The buildings became brighter. The roads started shining like polished glass, and every normal car on the street suddenly looked like it belonged in a high-speed crime game. And in the middle of all this chaos, our skeleton opened his eyes. Same bed, same alarm, same boring office routine, but outside his window, the world was no longer normal. He looked in the mirror, adjusted his black leather jacket, and decided one thing. He walked out of his apartment and entered the elevator. Inside, people were already acting strange. One businessman was sweating like he had just escaped a bank robbery. One tourist was holding a giant inflatable crocodile, and nobody even questioned the fact that a skeleton was going to work. Down in the garage, his regular boring car was gone. In its place stood a black and orange American muscle car. The skeleton sat inside, grabbed the steering wheel, and the engine roared like the city itself had accepted him as the main character. He drove out into the streets, and the city exploded with madness. Sports cars raced past him. Police sirens screamed from every corner. A man on a lawnmower was somehow winning a chase against 3 police cars. As he reached his office building, the valet stared at him, the security guard scanned his ID, and somehow the machine accepted him as an employee. At his desk, he opened his laptop, took a sip of coffee, and tried to work. But outside the glass window, a jewelry store robbery was happening in full daylight. A helicopter flew so close to the office window that papers exploded across the room. Everyone panicked, but the skeleton just looked outside. During lunch break, he went outside to buy food. The skeleton stood in line patiently because even in a game world city, lunch break was important. By evening, the city had become even crazier. Neon lights covered the streets. Supercars lined up at red lights. One driver challenged the skeleton to a race. The light turned green. His muscle car launched forward, tires screaming across the wet road. Neon signs blurred around him, police lights appeared behind him, the whole city became a high-speed chase, but somehow he escaped into a quiet alley like he had done this his entire life. That night, he returned home tired, dusty, and still confused. He dropped his keys on the table, fell onto the sofa, and turned on the TV. Then came the weekend. Instead of resting, the skeleton decided to explore the new world properly. He went to the beach where people were partying like tomorrow had been deleted. He tried working out at an outdoor gym, but struggled with the smallest dumbbell while bodybuilders stared in silence. Then he jumped on a jet ski and raced across the ocean. For a few seconds, life felt peaceful, until a crocodile wearing sunglasses appeared beside him in the canal. By night, he ended up at a rooftop pool party. Neon lights flashed, music blasted, the city glowed behind him. But the city was not done. Police helicopters filled the sky, cars raced below, explosions lit up the distance. The whole world had become one giant open-world mission, and somehow this skeleton was still just trying to live a regular life.